Hi, welcome back to another episode of Living in Fear, a horror film podcast. My name is Luis, and I'm living in fear.
And I'm Mia, and I'm living in fear.
Cool. Today we're talking. Today we're talking about what are we talking about? Oh yes, 28 weeks later, the sequel to 28 Days Later, and has been our preparation before we go see 28 Years Later, which is in a few days.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it. I don't know about you.
me too. I really have no idea what to expect. So,
Yeah, I've avoided all trailers, and I think I'm gonna try to avoid all trailers from any movie now. I feel like it's better that way.
yeah.
You know, there's some certain movies that I don't really care about, like seeing trailers, especially if it's like a Marvel movie or like a superhero movie. Sometimes I just watch the trailers and I don't even want to like watch the movie.
Yeah. I like teasers, but even like teasers nowadays, like, I feel like they forget what a teaser is supposed to be. They make them too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just supposed to, like, be, like 20 seconds, just kind of give you the vibe of the movie without, like, actually giving you any, like, information
Mm-hmm.
about, like, the plot. Like, I don't really need to know the full plot. I just, like, give me a couple names of the people that are in it, give me like little feel for like what kind of movie it's going to be, but yeah, don't reveal big plot stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Superman trailers have revealed way too much.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen the whole movie already. I'm sure it'll be like a spectacle if we end up do seeing it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not particularly I guess I don't really have nostalgia for it. I mean, I like the Christopher Reeves films, but like
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
I ever saw them.
Oh, really? You haven't seen any of them?
I don't like Superman. I saw Man of Steel and I fell asleep until it got to the part where the dog was in danger, and then I woke up for that. I was like real stressed out, and then I think I fell asleep again.
But did you not? Did you avoid seeing the Christopher Reeves ones,
Now,
or did you
I
just?
just I don't think I ever did, which is I think my dad had. My dad probably likes them and is fine with them, but I've just never been interested in Superman. He bores me so much.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
people would be upset at that statement.
I mean, teach their own. I
Anyway,
don't know that I like cared about superheroes a lot when I was younger, but I mean, I liked Batman and Spider Man, but I don't know. Anyway,
all right. So, what have you been up to, Mia?
I mean, we've been watching. What is it called? Chespirito.
Chespirito, sin querer
I mean,
queriendo.
2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it?
Um, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes sometimes they speak pretty quickly. And so
Yeah.
the subtitles go very quickly because it's in Spanish, which I don't speak nearly enough of. So I have to read the subtitles and they'll go very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this, some people just speak Spanish very quickly.
Yeah.
Like we've had friends that, you know, like one old coworker in particular, her and her family were very quick speaking. And I remember our other coworker that they ended up getting married, but he's like, yeah, I go to her house and her family's all talking. He's like, and I speak Spanish, but like, even I have a hard time keeping up with them
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And so I think there's times in the show where like certain people are like speaking really fast. I'm like, what just happened? And I think I have to pay more attention to the subtitles, and I don't have as much time to always be watching what is happening on screen.
Yeah.
And then like there's a lot of cuts from like the present quote unquote time to
Mm-hmm.
like the past, and like like it keeps jumping around different timelines. So then I'm also trying to like keep track of who's who, and it's hard when I can't just watch it. I have to be like reading subtitles. But otherwise, like, I mean, it's good. I'm interested in it. I don't really know anything about the show that it's like about,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't understand the interest in it, but teach their own.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far as well. I'm curious to see how it all wraps up, and if it's only going to be a single season or just a mini series, because this is a historical um, show,
Yeah,
but
it's like a biographical drama or
yeah,
whatever.
but I feel like a lot of it is kind of sensationalized, or
Yeah,
there's a lot of parts to it that probably aren't true.
it kind of feels like a way where there's a bunch of bullet points to
Mm-hmm.
like hit. And so it's like, oh, this is how he got this name. This is how this thing happened. But it's like, how do we make it flow in an actual like series that smoothly runs together? Like,
Yeah.
and so they probably happen similarly, but not like that. And yeah,
Yeah, but I'm interested to see the rest of it. I grew up with the show. That's one of the shows you always had in the background if you grew up in a Mexican household.
do you want to explain what it is?
Yeah, so El Chavo del Ocho, which was on Channel 8, it's kind of this like slapstick comedy, and the main character, he's like a almost like a mentally challenged person, but he's very dumb. Let's just put it that way. He's very dumb and he's very childish, and it's a weird thing that you probably would never see anymore in in film. Um,
I
and
mean, I guess you kind of have like in America we had Pee Wee Herman.
yeah, that's a good reference. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman. It's a Pee Wee Herman type show. And then there's all these characters, and they're all very unique. You got like the girl with the pigtails who's always crying over something, but they're all played by adults, but they're all supposed to be children. But there are adults playing adults, like the town drunk who always just comes in and is just is always drunk and you know always angry and grumpy. Which I'm curious to see how they'll do it when we actually get to those parts. When we actually get to see the show in this show. But yeah, it was very weird, and it came out of nowhere, and it was very popular, and everybody
Was it
knew
like
it.
it was like a family show?
Yeah, it was very family friendly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was a lot of I think the genius of it is it played a lot with like language and like just the way people speak and how many things could be interpreted by just simple phrases, or especially when you play with the Spanish language. I feel like there's more nuance, or more innuendos, or more things that could be interpreted differently. um, and I think that show is just so genius at doing that stuff, especially with this
Okay.
character of El Chavo.
That's interesting.
Um, but yeah, I mean, even like kids found it funny. Like I found it funny when I was a child,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it was because of the language or it was merely because just the main character was just so goofy and slapstick and always getting into trouble, you know. And he
Yeah.
lived in a it's so weird. He lived in like a barrel. That's where he went to sleep. He just lived in a barrel. He was almost like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
That's where he lived, in a barrel. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely saw it on a couple of my friends' like TVs when I'd be over there
Mm-hmm.
at their house. Like they'd have it like or their parents would have it on or something, but I just never for one I didn't speak Spanish and also it's just the adults playing kids part was just always really weird to me and people like laughing at it and stuff. I'm just like I don't get this. And then I saw a lot of like telenovelas on my friends' moms' TVs, you know, and I'd go over there and that was another thing. I was just like, this is so over dramatic. I don't get it. And I had seen like soap operas in America like on
Mm-hmm.
TV. I never watched them, but I had the same thought towards them where it's just like I don't get this like the dramatic acting and music and these weird storylines, but I don't think anyone that I knew that like spoke English watched the American soap operas. I think I
Mm-hmm.
only ever saw people watching the telenovelas.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, those are the best. But yeah, that's Chespirito. I'm I'm excited for the next episode. Um, I wanted to say that I think the biggest thing about this show is that I think it was primarily, and I guess we'll see once we see those episodes. I think it was primarily a kids show, but
Yeah.
then it just evolved into this huge thing, and it just adults were watching it like every
Yeah.
week.
Hmm.
So it's like, I mean, it's like if I don't know, would you say Pee Wee Herman is like? Would you say adults watch that, or is it just for kids?
Um, I don't know. I want to say a little bit of both because I feel like my manager, her her grandkid had like his first birthday and they all did like a Pee Wee Herman themed thing. So she likes Pee Wee Herman
Mm-hmm.
and she's about to be 50. So
Well, I guess Pee Wee Herman has kind of um, like expanded into other like because it doesn't he have like a lot of cameos in other movies and other shows.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know how well versed I am on Pee Wee Herman stuff. But yeah, I feel like everybody kind of watched like the movie and everything. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah, when you were explaining it, that was like the closest thing I could relate it to in my experience and my upbringing.
Suddenly, this is a Pee Wee Herman show podcast. All right,
All right.
let's move on.
That's pretty much what we've done. Hasn't been that long since we recorded our last podcast.
All right, let's get into our questions.
Yep.
Mia,
Yes.
how do you feel about reviews? Do you like looking them up before you engage with, I don't know, a film or a video game or a book or anything? Or would you rather just not hear anything about it and go in blind? Or would you like to hear some stuff about it before you do it? What's your
I
overall thing with reviews?
I think I definitely have a different opinion depending on the media type. So like movies we can just watch at home for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll look up like an IMDb score or something real quick and see if it's like a 4 or a 5, I might be like, this isn't worth my time. Unless it's just something that I'm like, even if it's bad, like I don't know, I'm kind of like interested in who's in it or something. Or what the heck, I'll watch this anyway. But if it's like 6 or higher or something, I'm usually like fine watching it, but I don't need to know more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Video games are expensive,
Yeah.
and so I don't want to spend $60 nowadays. It's going to be even more if it's not going to be worth that money. And so sometimes it's kind of a okay, maybe I'll just wait until it's on sale if it's really something I do want to play, even if people aren't loving it, they're just kind of liking it. But if it's like I just hear that it's broken or not worth the money, then, I'm not going to spend that money. But I will say, I usually don't look into like super in depth reviews, even on games and anything, because again, I don't want to be told everything about it if it is something I'm going to devote my time to. I think word of mouth is a big thing that has influence on me.
Mm-hmm.
If I hear a lot of people saying like positive things, and it's not anything I'm hearing in particular, I just feel like I'm hearing it a lot in a positive light. Like it'll be mentioned a lot. I won't actually look at people explaining it. I'll just see that they're liking it, and that'll kind of maybe motivate me one way or another. Books. I don't even know what I look for in books. I feel like anytime I try and look up like reviews or something, I've had books where people praise it and then I read it and I'm like, this isn't even good for me at least. I don't understand. And then
Mm-hmm.
other books that people are okay with that I love, like I don't know. I don't read enough and I don't know how to decipher people's opinions on books.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I prefer going in blind ultimately. And then there's certain YouTubers like I'll listen to talk about a movie, maybe if it's one I'm kind of on the fence about and I don't care about like spoilers. Like Jeremy Johns, I'll listen to his reviews because they're quick and I don't think he really gives anything away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, is this worth me watching in a theater? Like I'll see like how he feels about it. And I don't think he and I always have the same opinion necessarily, but
Yeah.
I think I've watched him for long enough with like movies I have seen. Sometimes I'll go back and see what his review says. And so I know well enough, depending on what he's saying, whether it might be something I'm interested in or not.
What about what about when something's too hyped? Do you feel like
Um,
that changes your opinion on something, or maybe you don't want to watch it because there's so much hype around it? Like I feel like Severance, we watched it late, and there was so much hype around Severance, but it did live up to our hype. At least the first season did, right? And the
yeah.
second season too, I guess.
I mean, I think that's one of those things where it was like word of mouth that you kept just hearing that it's good,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know anything about it going in.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like I hear people talking about it all the time. I hear it brought up, but I just pretty much hear, "Oh, it's so good, you got to see it." And I haven't looked further into it. So like that does interest me. I think sometimes, I don't know how many people specifically told us to watch it though, like in our day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes when everybody's like, you got to watch this thing, you got to watch this thing, it just almost makes you not want to watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that happens like that much nowadays. But I think sometimes, people need to discover things on their own. It's like my brother who loves The Office now, right?
Mm-hmm.
For years I was like, dude, you would love this show. I can't believe you haven't seen it, and it's just something he had to go and discover himself.
Yeah.
And once he finally just got around to it himself, he like is more obsessed with it than I am now. Like he quotes it like crazy, and I'm like, I don't even remember part. like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think discovering things yourself is kind of like the best thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard though, because I feel like there's an emotional connection you have to have with something in order to engage with it. There's a saying in publishing that a potential customer has to see the cover of a book at least 7 or 8 times before they decide to buy it.
Mm.
Like it is just about this connection. It's like, oh, I've seen that book several times now.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's probably something similar with seeing like a show listed on something. I was like, oh, that kind of seems interesting, but then like bypass it, and then like you see it a few other times, and it's finally like, you know what? I'm just gonna finally give in and watch it now. So how do you feel? I feel like you probably feel pretty similar to me.
Yeah, especially now. I think I'm less hesitant to watch or look up reviews, especially for move. Well, it depends on the movie, I guess. Um, but for movies, like I don't really care that much, just because they are just 2 hours, right? It's 2 hours of your
That's what I'm
life.
saying. If you waste your time, it's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, that sucked, but oh well.
but like for a video game, they do cost a lot now, and some of them are very long, upwards of
Yeah.
70 to 100 hours if you're, playing an RPG or something. And so you don't want to. I think I'm more worried about my time and I just don't want to waste my time, really.
Yeah.
And then like if you get stuff on Steam, you can actually like return it, which is kind of cool. Um, as long as you return it for like in less than 4 hours of you playing it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some type of thing.
So that's kind of cool. But I don't think I've ever returned something. I think I'm always very specific with the games I buy. And then with books, it's also the same thing, but I feel like books are always more subjective than any other medium. Than
Yes.
they're very different than movies and video games because they're also visual. And then with books, you kind of just have to use your imagination, and people can just interpret things their own way and have a
Mm-hmm.
deeper connection with you know a book, and but some other person didn't connect with it. Um, so I feel like I always look up reviews for books, always.
Do
Um,
you have some trusted sources then?
I usually look at Goodreads. Um,
See, I feel like I've tried that and it never works for me.
I also have a few YouTube channels that I watch that are booktubers, and some of them are like science fiction specific, others are like fantasy specific. So those are some of my trusted like sources. I don't think I sometimes I look at Amazon reviews as well. Um, and then just wherever I'm buying it too. Like I feel like when if I do buy at Powell's is the local bookstore here in Portland. They have reviews as well, so I look at those. But it is that thing where like I already know I'm gonna like something, and so I've already made my decision. So it's not like I'm there browsing.
Yeah.
It's more like, yeah, I've had my eye on this thing for a while. I'm gonna buy that book. Um, but yeah, yeah, and books are another thing where like it does take a long time to read. Depending on how fast you read. But like 16, I don't know, 16 to 20 hours of reading, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically me. I, which is yeah, it's kind of similar to yours, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. My question.
Okay.
What would you be looking for in a group of survivors in a zombie type setting? It's like, you always see these like groups that form. Is there a certain, like, if you were meeting people along the way and you were like, join our group, are there certain types that you would be looking for or wanting to avoid?
Um, that is an interesting question. I think having seen what's happened with these movies,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe just zombie movies and shows in general, I think I would primarily look at the type of people that are in this community. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if it's all dudes, right? And you're with me, I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're doing something weird with the women that they find.
Yeah.
Um, and if there's no children around, like what's like do they just kill children? Like I would be skeptical about just the demographics of
Yeah.
their group. So I would look at that. I think once I am in it, I think I would want a strong leader. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be able to lead. I feel like I'm not a good leader, um, so maybe yeah, a strong leader. Um, People that are useful as well. Maybe there is a doctor that they have, or somebody that's good at building things. Like I'm looking at myself. I'm like, yeah, what would I be good at? Probably nothing. Like in a survival setting.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, but you can't have everybody that's like the leader that's good at commanding, or like you do need people in a group that are just good at following orders and are good workers and
or yeah, or just have some type of system in place where they
yeah,
do. It is sort of like a, I don't know, like a team, or they are running a community.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would look for. Um, I don't know if
Would
uh,
you be willing to accept people that might not be able to contribute as much, like older people or I don't know, kids or I don't know, people with a disability? That sounds really mean, but like,
yeah, yeah, that's a trope that we find a lot in these movies and in these shows. It's just we're not gonna take any of the weak, and only the strong will survive. I feel like everybody does have their uses, though. Don't you think? I feel like some people are just like the people that we do see in, like, 28 weeks or 28 days later. Like I feel like they're just jumping the gun on that mentality, and like, no, you could probably find some uses for these people. Like there was a cook in the first one that didn't know how to cook. I'm like, I'm sure you can find some old guy that can cook, you know?
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So,
and older people have a lot of wisdom from life, right?
yeah, that
I just
too.
think sometimes early on, when you just have like a smaller group or something and you're really struggling, I understand maybe not wanting to take on people that are going to be a burden. But once you're a little bit more well off yourselves,
Hmm.
and also, I don't know, I'm the type that the point in surviving ideally is rebuilding some sense of community. So, like, wouldn't you want people from all walks of life in your thing as long as they're good people?
Yeah. I mean, we also get into the dilemma of what if there isn't enough resources to go around? then you would
Yeah.
have to turn away people. And then how do you decide who to turn away, you know? Um, yeah. I mean, I that's interesting to think about. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I wouldn't want to be in that role, that leadership role that has to do it.
It has to make those tough decisions.
Yeah. But I guess eventually if we do have like a tyrannical leader who's turning away children and old people, I don't know, maybe some of the community does not like it, and then this leader has to deal with that with sort of infighting, and it just gets messy, you know.
Yeah.
What about you?
Um, I think I'm pretty practical in the fact that I know that I would need some stronger people and some people that are. I'm pretty shy and introverted in my day to day life, so I'm a hard worker. I think I'm a quick learner, and I think I would be willing to kind of like help out in a bunch of different roles. And yeah, I'm a girl, but also like, I don't know, it can be pretty tough. I'd be willing to, help build stuff and do some dirtier work. I'm not going to be killing animals though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I think I could be of use. I don't think I'm going to be like the top person or anything. And I'm not a leader type person. I'm not very authoritative. I'm not very confrontational. So I do think those aspects are important though. And you would need to find people that are like that. But I don't know. I guess, I'd want diversity around me. I'd want a good group that can work together, that are willing to pitch in. If you aren't capable of doing one thing, I would hope that you're doing something else to benefit the group and the community.
Yeah.
I think I'm not very patient with people just being lazy. Like I'm not going to want to surround myself with those type of people. I'm not going to really want to be helping those people out.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody should contribute. So that's, I don't know, I'd be looking for people that will help out in one way or another. And it's, it could be like doing laundry, it could be cleaning, cooking. Like there are things that are not labor intensive that people can help out with. I mean, helping with kids, if there's kids around, teaching is
Mm-hmm.
a thing that's very important. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I would like a good, diverse community of just people that want to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the type that would want to be with people that are cruel, even if, you might survive longer with them. I just like, I wouldn't want to be around that.
I mean, you eventually have to get to a sense of normalcy and have to rebuild. So you need all types of people to do that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
some people are kind of crazy. I feel like that's the trope that you see in like all these types of movies and stuff is like bad groups
Mm-hmm.
form and they just want to, be in charge and be cruel to others. And I do think that could and probably would happen.
Yeah,
You would have groups of like bad people doing bad things.
of course. I mean, you have that in now. You have that
Yeah.
everywhere.
But I don't know. I think the early on things are just trying to find some people that know how to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Finding people with like skills would be very important early on.
Cool. All right, so those are our topics.
And now our
Let's
movie.
yeah, let's move on to 28 weeks later. All right, 28 weeks later from 2007. So this was what 5 years after? or 6 years.
He
No, 5 years. Yeah, 2002.
5 years. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
because it
28 Days Later
was
was released a little bit earlier in the UK than America, but
right. And then this one was written by Rowan Joffe, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, Enrique Lopez Levine.
you said it so white.
I know. Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. So what is he like Spanish or something?
um, I'm assuming so. Something.
Like a
I,
Spanish
I,
director?
I do have like a few. Yeah, he's from Spain.
Okay.
I do have some little tidbits and stuff throughout, but not a lot. I couldn't find as much on this movie as the previous.
And then here is an IMDb summary, short one. 6 months after the rage virus was inflicted on the population of Great Britain, the US Army helps to secure a small area of London for the survivors to repopulate and start again. But not everything goes according to plan. All right, Mia, tell me, after seeing 28 Days Later and revisiting these movies, coming back to 28 weeks later, how do you feel? How do you feel about it as a whole? Give me some high level thoughts.
I think it's good. I like it. I don't think it's as good as 28 Days Later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as like unique as 28 Days Later. It feels a little more Hollywood to me.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I like it. I think it's interesting. It like, goes some interesting directions and it kills off a lot of main characters.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I ever really like felt super attached to any of the characters or anything. How did you feel?
I'm kind of the same way. I feel like it also I was surprised that it did go in this direction and I kind of wanted it to be honest.
Yeah.
I like this premise that they're starting to rebuild. This whole
Yeah.
idea of them sectioning off part of Great Britain and it's almost like a militarized containment zone and or a living a community zone or whatever. I like all that. And it's kind of like what we were talking about before. Like, yeah, we would like to see that more in movies, rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
So I really love that aspect. And I kind of really like the character, the Hawkeye character.
Doyle.
Yeah. Um, so I like his whole storyline and I guess in a way, I guess back then, this, what, 2007, that this immune kid,
Mm-hmm.
trope, I feel like it wasn't that overdone yet. And so
Yeah.
that would have been really great to see for the first time.
Yeah.
So I like that. And I
It feels
appreciate
a little
that.
more actiony than like horror movie, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a lot of shooting, a lot of military, you know,
Yeah.
tactics and but I think it is lesser than its predecessor just because I think this one just doesn't wrap up the themes so nicely and it doesn't feel as well written when it comes to the characters and their whole deal.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I didn't particularly care about this. What's the the main actor, the dad actor. What's his name?
Don was his name in it.
Yeah. So Don, I didn't particularly care about his storyline that he was scared, and so he left his wife behind. And then like all of a sudden the wife comes back and he has to deal with that. And I don't particularly like that the dad, once he's a zombie, he just keeps showing up. He just so it's like they're trying to I feel like they're going a little overboard with like, oh, we gotta get the dad back, and it's gotta mean something when these kids see their dad all
Why does this
zombified.
feel a little like Resident Evil-ish to me?
Yeah, like how did he find them?
Something about, yeah.
I guess
Like,
you can make a case like, oh, he was still inside and he was following them, but I don't know. That seems kind of a stretch to me.
I mean, he was different, so I have some notes about that later. Not any answers, just basically questioning it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that this one seemed to try to give us like certain answers with certain things. So we find out that the infected die of starvation after what, 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? The last infected human died 6 months ago. Like, we're getting all these like little answers like that about how it spreads and everything. So like I feel like it answers some things, but then it brings up other questions that it like doesn't answer.
Yeah.
Like, why was the dad like smart? Like, he was like hunting his family
Yeah.
down. And like you see things from his perspective, which was kind of like cool. It was kind of cool to like see it from the POV of an infected.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what made him different? And it would have been one thing if it was just like the wife was clearly different. She had some type of like immunity,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I can't imagine that both the dad and the mom had some different reaction to the infection. You know, like they're not both special. Like, I get it with the kids because it's taking from the mom's genes, but the dad, you know, he's not related to the mom, he's the husband.
Yeah.
Like, and so, but is it because of the way he got infected from her? Is that why he's different too? Like, I'm so confused because he seems to be the only infected that is like that. Like, he seems to be like stalking his children and like hunting them,
Mm-hmm.
and he seems to be like planning things, and yeah, I don't know. He
Yeah.
killed the mom in a really vicious way, and then he's trying to like kill the kids in a vicious way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I don't really. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. That there could be a connection between him getting infected by the mom, and that's somehow different. Though,
But then everybody he infects after that seems to just be like normal,
yeah,
right?
I don't think that was the intention with this
I
movie.
don't I don't either, but that's like my only like thing I can make sense of it. But I'm just saying that's like a thing. Like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they answer all these other things, and then I have this really big question, like, why is he different? And like, you don't get any of that explained.
I don't.
It just seems like a weird choice to make him like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think the movie gives enough explanation for how this virus works when it comes to him. So
Yeah.
I think we're just supposed to assume that he just happened upon these moments. Like I don't think he's actually targeting his family. Like
I don't know. It feels like he is, though. Like, he saw the son
mm-hmm.
and specifically went for the son, even though there were other people around. And then, like, when he kills his wife after he first turns, like, he's like punching her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like he's not just like
Like he's
biting
still in there
her
or
or
something.
like, yeah, like he just it just felt like a different type of killing.
Mhm.
It felt more personal.
Yeah, and I guess when they're in the tunnel, like what does the daughter scream? And he like turns around. He's like, oh, he like reacts to whatever she says, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so yeah, I guess there is some evidence for that. Um, but I don't know. I don't think it's just. I feel like
It's just so weird.
yeah. I feel like
And it's
it's a bit messy when it what it's trying to
like
do.
it's like I almost expected when it happened and it seemed like he still like he was different or something. I was almost expecting it to be where he like was fighting for control inside and at some point he was going to be like, "No, not my son," and like stop himself or
Mm-hmm.
something. Cuz like in the first movie when that one dad changes and like before he changes, he tells his daughter to like get away. And then he's like, "Take her, get her away from me, get her away from me." And he's like slowly turning and he gets like more and more aggressive as he's saying it. And you can tell that's a dad trying to like fight off the infection for the safety of his child.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost thought maybe this would go that route, but where this guy is fully infected, but like there's a little bit of him there and he's able to like stop himself from hurting his kid. But that's not really what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just seemed interesting.
Well, the cheesy part that I find about this whole situation is that he just like appears in places. And I don't
Yes.
know how he's there. I don't know how he got there. There's at one point
That's why
where
it felt like maybe he was stalking them.
right, right. But I feel like he would go
It was just
after
too much
them.
of a coincidence for him to keep coming upon them.
Like there's that moment where the kid sees him and he's just standing there staring at him, and then like Jeremy Renner gets in the way and then he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
I
if
didn't
that
know
was
if that was I thought that was maybe the kid like not actually seeing him or something.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that could be a possibility as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's let's get away from this topic because I think the movie is actually good. Uh,
Um can I go over some of the notes?
yeah, sure.
They'll be pretty quick. A lot of it I got from Wikipedia. There wasn't much on IMDb. I couldn't find much on like YouTube about this one as much either.
Mm-hmm.
It is a standalone sequel. I think that's interesting of note. So people didn't need to see the first one to be able to see this.
Yeah.
I think that's usually a smart decision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, this is a thing where they say about the extras playing infected were from a movement background, so history and dance, gymnastics, circus, and mime, and they had workshops for them to teach them stuff. Again, the last movie was an $8 million budget. This one had a $15 million budget. After the success of the first one, they wanted the same producer and screenwriter and director to like work on it, and I think they were working on it originally. So there is a quote from the producer, Andrew McDonald, that says, "We were quite taken aback by the phenomenal success of the first film, particularly in America. We saw an opportunity to make a second film that already had a built-in audience. We thought it would be a great idea to try and satisfy that audience again." So I think that makes a lot more sense why this one is a bit Americanized and has, the US Army and things like that happening.
Yeah.
I don't know that, that's for the best or not, but it is what it is.
Wait, so that army
Um,
was U.S.?
yeah, it says it in the beginning. It says the
Oh,
US Army comes. Yeah,
okay.
that's why they all had American accents and stuff.
That
Um,
makes sense.
a lot of the
Did
people
Idris
couldn't.
did Idris Elba have a accent? American accent?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Um, So I think they originally wanted a lot of the people back, and I think they were even wanting to do a sequel with like Cillian Murphy and Naomi Harris and stuff, but I think it just didn't work. They all had like commitments by time this finally got like into production and or into development or whatever. Do, 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 do. See.
Wait, who's the other actress? Naomi
Harris?
Harris.
Right?
Oh, okay, yeah. I wonder if she's in 28 years.
I think she might be. I don't know though. So yeah, then Danny Boyle, the director of the first one, he hired Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, thinking that it'd be good to have a fresh new perspective on the film. And he was a huge fan of his 2001 film Intacto. I just want to read what the IMDb summary of Intacto is because I looked it up and it's so like. So the IMDb summary says, in a world where luck can be taken from a lucky person by a luckier person's touch, a small group of lucky people compete to be the luckiest and for the other contestants' luck. What? I'm like, what is this description? So I kind of want to watch that now because I'm so curious.
It's a movie or a short film or?
It's a movie. It's like a drama. I think it might have said romance at some point. I don't know, some type of drama movie.
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. And then Fresnadillo just kind of found the original script was underdeveloped. So that's why there's these other writers with him. They decided to rework it. But they really liked the concept of the family and trying to start over after the first outbreak. So they kept doing that. Rewriting took a year. Yeah. For promotions, they did a graphic novel, apparently.
Oh, that's
kind
cool.
of interested for that. It's called 28 Days Later, The Aftermath. It bridges the gap between the two films.
Oh, dang. I should have read that.
Yeah. It seems like the critical response was pretty positive. There's this quote that I kind of like from the Rotten Tomatoes website that says it consistent reads, while 28 Weeks Later lacks the humanism that made 28 Days Later a classic, it's made up with fantastic atmosphere and punchy direction. Like, yeah, I think that's kind of, it lacks the humanism that 28 Days Later had and made that a classic, and I kind of agree with that. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's pretty much my notes from there.
Yeah, so what do you want to talk about?
I have some little play-by-play notes, not like super,
Sure.
but I just like took notes as we went because we watched this and then it's been a couple days, so I knew I'm pretty bad about forgetting stuff if I don't write things down. I thought the beginning was pretty interesting. So you start off in this house, the dad and his wife, so Don and his wife Alice, are with this older couple, and then it's a guy by himself and then another couple, but the boyfriend and the other couple like has gone out of the house, and that other guy there, Jacob, is like, he's not coming back, he's dead, to the woman. So they're in this dark house. So you're assuming it's nighttime, right? Were you assuming it was night?
Yeah.
Like it looks like they're having dinner. They have all these candles and everything. They were cooking, but then you find out it's daytime.
Yeah.
I really found that part interesting. Yeah. So a little boy comes knocking at the door, and then you're met with that question of, do I help this kid? Would you have helped the kid?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Would you?
I think it depends on the circumstances, probably. Again, I think I'm kind of a practical person. So, do I want to help a kid first and foremost? Yes. But could I think maybe it's a trap for other people to like come in and take our stuff or something? Like, I just would be weary of it. The wife clearly just wants to help the kid. She's like, let him in. It's a child. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because I don't have kids that I don't have that maternal instinct to help the child no matter what. Um, but yeah, you find out at that point that it is daytime, which I found interesting, and the whole house is boarded up, which doesn't seem to do a lot of good though, because once they come in, the infected are just like breaking through the like boards left and right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was merely to not
Draw attention.
draw, because they had candles and stuff, so I don't think that they wanted the outside to know, or just
Yeah,
draw the attention of the zombies.
to see like movement and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
that's what that. It wasn't necessarily for like bandits. I don't think.
No,
It's
I
like,
don't think it was for bandits. I'm just saying that you would think the boards and stuff would at least like provide some type of protection
mm-hmm.
against the infected. But like they were like breaking through it no problem once they knew that there were like people inside.
Yeah, I found this scene interesting too. Um, it is. It does. I guess it does take a unique turn where like the husband just leaves his wife,
So
and
there's go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say there's a lot of he he leaves other people and you see a lot of choices to be made with like, well, who will you help?
Mm-hmm.
Would you help the kid? Which he doesn't seem to be in a rush to help. Would you help that old lady? Again, he's kind of like ditching her and everything. Like, I guess that was Jacob ditching her. There's the wife. So it's like, who will he help? And then even up to like when he's getting on the boat with Jacob, at first you're kind of like, he's like, come on, Jacob, let's go. Like, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, weird that he would so easily leave that wife and his his wife and that child
Yeah.
behind. Like the wife is still trying to
Mm-hmm.
protect the child. But then like it seemed like he was okay with trying to help Jacob, like
Yeah.
stay on the boat.
Yeah, that
But
is
then
weird.
like, once Jacob is done, he's like, okay, bye. But it like seemed like he was a little like more helpful to Jacob than his own wife.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, it is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know how that situation was gonna turn out when she's in the room with the child,
Yeah.
but he still like chose to just close the door. I'm like, no, you still have a chance. You probably have less of a chance with this Jacob guy, and he was fighting them off, right? Like when they did come through, he was like hitting them.
Yeah, in the beginning.
So like he's
But then it
not a.
just seemed
It doesn't seem like he's afraid of them. Like he's fighting them. So like,
I mean,
why was he so quick to just leave the wife? Okay, screw you, the person I love most.
did he though? you know. I mean, okay, there is fight, flight, freeze, fawn, those instincts.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, maybe his first initial was fight, and then there came a certain point where he had been fighting and he was all of a sudden hit with the thing where I might actually die. Like, this is getting very real. I'm not safe anymore. And now my wife's over there and there's infected between us. Like, what do I do? And he just had the flight response.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes people have that and you don't want to be too harsh on them because that is just what their body told them to do and they're not thinking clearly. And so, like, it might be messed up to leave people behind, but also we never know what we're going to do in those situations. But I think they do kind of show that this guy is just kind of like a coward times and just is in it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they had a few examples to show that it wasn't just like yes, he did panic, but also like he was just worried about himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting character choice to have us follow this person
Yeah.
throughout.
But
Well,
it
not
makes
the
a good
right.
intro, right? And that's
Yeah.
like one of the things people always talk about with this film is like the opening sequence with that. Did he look back?
Yeah, I think he looked back, right?
I can't remember.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because we do
Because I
see
know
the
she's like
yeah
screaming at him.
we do see her in the mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like in the window, like pounding on it.
Hmm. Well, then we get a time jump right when he's
Hmm.
getting his kids back, and of course, he's lying to them about the wife thing.
Did you know he was gonna lie?
No, I don't think I. Yeah, that I think that was surprising as well. Cause like, I mean, I guess you would want to tell your kids how heroic you were, and how and that your wife and then your mom. There was nothing you could do. I mean, I don't know. In that situation, would it be better to lie to the kids and have them be?
Like there could have been a different way to lie, right?
Yeah. But what did he say exactly? He said, I saw her get bit,
Yeah.
and there was nothing I can do, right? And she died. And then I think the daughter asks, but did she die? No, but I saw her get bit or something. But he didn't even see her. That's a lie as well. Like he didn't see her get bit, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand assuming that she's dead and that she got bit. Like, how did she survive that? Like, I guess, because she's like
Mm-hmm.
immune or whatever. But even so, like, I don't know, they don't just like bite you once. Like, a lot of them are pretty like violent.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of those things where like she got a zombie attacked her and then she maybe passed out and so the zombie thought she was dead or something, but then she woke up.
Yeah. I mean, or they, I guess they probably were racing after him after, right?
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I do like this. So I like the opening, but I also like just seeing this community
Mm-hmm.
and then sort of rebuilding and just sort of the logistics of them being assigned a room. And he's the manager of the building or something, right? Or like custodian or something. So he has access to all the rooms.
Is that what he is? He's a
Something.
custodian?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
can't remember. I thought he was more important than that, but maybe not.
The
Because he
point.
does have access to
Yeah, yeah.
like important things.
You know.
I really liked the idea of showing the like rebuilding
Mm.
and you see like as the kids are coming on like a metro train, subway, whatever. Um they're like cleaning off like this somebody's power washing a roof where it says like I am here. And it's just like can you imagine like coming back into this area where like horrible things just happened and
Mm.
like people were left to die, like all this like it would be crazy. And I
Mm.
mean, like part of me is like I don't know that I would want to return that quickly, but then you have to think about it. It's been so 28 weeks, that's like 7 months, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess it says 6 months after the rage virus in the summary.
So where were they, the kids? Where were they coming from?
Weren't they were they at some summer program or like some school thing or something? The
Mm.
the parents explain it in the beginning.
Yeah. And then this is the first child that's in London, right, or in this area.
Yeah, because they like see the kids and they're like, wait, why are we bringing kids? Like
Yeah.
nobody said that we were bringing kids in yet.
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is kind of understandable.
Yeah.
But that's again why I thought maybe he was like really important because his kids are coming in.
I think they made an exception for him, right?
Yeah.
Because he knew he had the military knew that he had some kids, and they just wanted to reunite them. Because I feel like most kids that died probably died with their parents. This was a unique situation where the kids just happened to be outside of Britain.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we also I do want to talk about Jeremy Renner.
Okay.
I
Doyle.
Doyle. I actually really like him. This character, this sharpshooter military person, but who's got a heart, I guess. Even when he's like spying on the people, you can
Hmm.
tell he's just, you know, um, he's like smiling at the because he sees them, he sees the dad and the kids, and he's
Yeah.
smiling, and then he looks at the girl, and I don't know if they've had a previous relationship or he's just been, sort of watching her from a distance because when they do meet at that like marketplace, him and
Uh-huh.
what's the actress's name?
Scarlet.
Yeah, was that the
Rose
first time they
Byrne.
met? Was that the first
Yeah,
time
I
they
don't
met?
know. I don't know. I thought so, but
But anyways, I do like this idea of him going against his orders when the military does decide let's just kill them all. And it is kind of cool to see that that moment when they do get the order, we've lost control, so now just uh shots free or whatever.
yeah.
um I do like that they tried to like just only shoot people at first, or like the infected at first,
Yeah.
and then they lost control. I'm like, no, now it's all targets are free.
I mean, I think it's all, I don't know, realistic
Mm-hmm.
in a way. The fact that it's like, okay, we are going to rebuild this thing. What if it does come back though? So like we're going to have the military come here. This is going to be a trial run, basically. I think that's probably why they wouldn't want kids there to begin with. But you do have to have plans for if things go wrong,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they do
And you
have
have to have different
protocols.
levels and protocols and stuff. So it is kind of like, okay, we're going to try this out. Ideally, everything is fine. This infected problem is not a problem anymore. All the infected are dead. It's been how long, you know? So let's do this. But if something happens, we do our best to kill all of the infected. If somehow it looks like things are getting out of control, we just wipe out everything. And it sounds really harsh, but that is the type of thing that they would have to consider. Because it's ultimately, what's best for, the human population, mankind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let this go farther. So like I understand, and I understand the orders, and I think that's a big part of like military is sometimes you have to do things that you don't agree with, and you have to just know that there is a reason behind it, and sometimes you don't get to know the why of what you're doing. You just follow the orders without question. But I also think sometimes there is a bit of, when it's wrong, should you do it even if it's your command?
Mm-hmm.
And there's been, things in history where people have just followed commands and maybe they shouldn't have, and there are the people that said no and I think have been proven to have made the right decision in disobeying orders. And so I do understand, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
where the Doyle character was coming from when he just wouldn't shoot just like everyone.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I understand why all the other soldiers did follow the order because it is just kind of sucks that all these people have to die, but also like we can't let this go further.
Mm-hmm.
If it gets out, millions will die.
Yeah, I guess I guess I don't feel any animosity for the other military people that are just following orders. Like it is a
You
command.
see it weighing on them.
Yeah.
Like it shows around to everyone, even Idris Elba's character is like, they clearly didn't want to do it. They're going to live with that for their
Mm-hmm.
lives, like having to kill like random innocent people. Like, they don't want to do that. They're there to protect, not to slaughter.
I mean, even but the the more tough decision is whether to kill your own teammate, which he does.
Yes. And that's like one of the things I'm like, he kills his own guy at one point, which is, yeah, kind of
Which,
crazy.
yeah,
Did he know that the kid was immune at that point?
no, he didn't.
He didn't, right?
Mm-mm.
So that's why I find that a little, I don't know. I feel like I kind of understand why he would like go to such crazy lengths when he's fighting to protect this like immune kid. But
Because he does decide to do it to go against orders when he sees the kid through his scopes.
yeah, I don't think I could kill my own person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I get that he was trying to protect a kid. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting. That could be an interesting debate if he was right or wrong. You know, if it's the ethical thing to do, save a child or kill your own military person or
Yeah.
comrade. Um, you know who I really like the helicopter guy from
Flynn.
from the Matrix
Yeah.
and from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Kyushu.
It is yeah. He's the only one that survives besides the children, right? Like of the characters that we. Well, I guess Idris Elba, right? We don't know what happened to him,
Yeah.
but I guess those are less important characters. But it is it is cool to learn that he also has some, is you know, issues with the order, and you don't know if he's gonna take these kids in, but you're kind of glad that he did in the end have a change of heart, or I don't know, maybe he did it for his friend,
Yeah.
or maybe he just saw the kids and I was like, yeah, this is not right, because he doesn't know that they're immune, right? Or like one of them's
No.
immune.
No.
Like he could have easily just killed the cure or left the cure there.
Yeah. Did How did you feel about the helicopter scene when that one guy like jumps on when they first encounter him and he's like, "Nah, man, I can't take all these people."
Mm-hmm.
And then that one guy jumps on and is like, "No, help us." And then he's like trying to get the guy off and then he starts like the infected come like the horde comes and he
Mm-hmm.
starts like chopping them up with the blades of the helicopter.
Yeah, that was the more Hollywood actiony part of this movie. That wouldn't
I
make
feel like
sense, right?
yeah, I don't know, but it was kind of like I don't know, I kind of liked it. It was kind of stupid, but I kind of liked it. Like it was kind of like awesome that he's like, I'm just gonna like plow through them with my blades.
But why
But
does
it
he?
just,
He wasn't gonna do that anyway, right? Like, what made him do it? Just because he's already spinning around. It was like, all right, I'm just might as well just plow through these zombies. Because I
he
don't.
was trying to protect Doyle and stuff. So it was like, let me take out as many as
Mhm.
I can.
But he wasn't gonna do that in the beginning. He only did that because the guy was hanging on him.
Uh,
Like
I,
that.
I, I feel like I don't know that he did he know the infected were like right there at that moment? Like that close where
Mhm.
like Doyle wasn't going to be able to get away safely?
I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
it seems odd that he would do this.
Yeah.
In reality, the I think the helicopter would have just completely, you know, I don't know, the rudders would be botched because of all this killing, and he would probably just crash. So I wouldn't
I don't
have
know.
taken that
Yeah.
risk, but
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have taken the risk of like, crashing yourself.
and then
But it was
just
kind of
and then
it was interesting.
just to accurately angle it the right way and
Yeah.
not hit the ground,
Yeah.
that's almost unbelievable.
Well, and it just the like graphics of it like looked kind of cheesy.
Mm-hmm. The
But
other
yeah,
part,
it was weird.
well, the other part I found unbelievable is like this gas scene where the
Yes.
so what are they doing with the gas?
I
It,
don't
why do they
I don't
need
know.
chemical warfare for these zombies?
I mean this is step 3, extermination. So basically all their shooting and everything, all this like really crazy killing, just as cruel as it was, didn't do the job. So now they have to like release this like chemical to like kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it just like kills them immediately or if it like knocks them out and then they come and like burn them. But I also like the people, they clearly the humans breathed in some of it. The ones in the car,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's no way that car could have kept it out.
He no. So I'm like, is there a certain amount that you can handle? Like, and then Doyle's out there pushing the car and it doesn't even seem like it it doesn't even seem like the smoke or chemical or whatever killed him. It's the people come and like torch him.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what like I mean, like all these like main characters like die. The wife ends up dying. The dad ends up dying later on, right? The Scarlet Girl, she dies. Doyle dies. Like so it's kind of like interesting that.
Yeah. The two kids survive.
Yeah. How did you like the so they go into the tunnel after it's Scarlet and the two kids are the ones left, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she has the sniper rifle and so she's using that to see in the dark. How did you like the use of that for like a filming style?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's like the night vision through the like sniper.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it was a little jarring to me to suddenly introduce this night vision scene. What about you? Was this after Wreck? This was after Wreck, huh?
Think so?
Yeah. Because Wreck is what, 2002 as well?
Is it?
Oh no,
Okay.
2007. So same time.
Oh. Mm. Yeah, it reminded me of Wreck for sure. I feel like so this film to me, like it feels like it's kind of trying to mimic some of the styling of the first one, but
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they don't get it down right.
Yeah.
Like it's just not, I don't know. And that's I part of why I like the first one better. I think the first one just does it better. The whole stylized part of it, the way they shoot the infected with like, the certain cameras so it looks a little choppy. They use like a build up to like rock music in certain times. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just very stylized in a more interesting and unique way. This one feels more Hollywood, but it feels like it tries to mimic some of those moments and some of that style, and it just doesn't do it right.
Mm-hmm. But
The
this,
night vision
yeah,
part was an interesting idea.
yeah. I
I don't
don't
know.
think
I don't
it is
hate
an
it.
interesting idea, but I don't feel like it was executed successfully. I found that scene when they're going down the escalator or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, it just felt odd to me. Like it was clumsily, like they're like clumsily stumbling, and then she falls down, and then the dialogue there, she's just giving out commands. It's just very chaotic. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have used
I guess,
they could have used this night vision thing
yeah.
in a different way, and it would have been much better. But I don't know.
I guess the overall style of this and like way they film it and the different methods and everything, it just doesn't smoothly go together.
Yeah, to suddenly introduce this new method of shooting
Yeah.
things.
But even like other things, like it's just very like a lot of like things thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like consistent. Like a lot of it isn't, not even just this, but other things too. Scarlett, she gets killed by. So the dad comes and he like hits her with this sniper rifle, though. Yeah, does he kind of like beat her with it or something?
Something, yeah. She gets beat. Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah,
He grabs it, which is
yeah. So
another
again,
weird
he's
thing.
like using, yeah, he's like using a tool to like kill her.
Yeah, yeah. In the first one, I was already a bit skeptical as to how the zombies work, but I feel like it did a good job at not showing them as much. So like, you still kind of just it was all vague, and that was fine. But like here, he just starts grabbing the gun,
Yeah,
and like it makes you wonder. Okay, so what are they capable of? Are they human still? He is stalking these children.
yeah. I
Somehow,
just,
somehow he's silently snuck behind them. Like they didn't hear him, just like coming and screaming at them.
yeah. I don't, I don't understand it. I don't understand how he's doing it, why he's different. If it is because he got infected from the wife who was different, but I don't know. Also, can we back up to like the very beginning? So
Yeah.
like when he goes to see his wife, she seems like kind of upset to see him at first, right? Or like shocked,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But then they start like, I don't know, he starts like making out with her,
Yeah.
basically, which again, weird time to make
Yeah.
out.
That is a weird time. Yeah.
So freaking weird. But do you think she like knew she had a chance of infecting him and just part of her was just like, you're evil? I
That
want to infect you?
that's what I thought, but then she was surprised
Yeah.
by it. I was like, yeah, what do
Yeah,
you think was gonna happen? So I don't even think she knew.
exactly. It was all just weird.
Yeah, that was a weird scene. I liked it up till the where he starts kissing, like literally making out.
It was so odd. I just that's Luis knows this. That's my gripe in so many things. Where like a couple something happens crazy or whatever, and then their first like reaction is to just start like heavily making out. Like it's one thing to like embrace and maybe like kiss or something, but like to be like just all of a sudden go from like nothing or like
Mm,
craziness to like just trying to like,
yeah,
jump each other's bones. Like
yeah, this ain't that
it's
type of
just
movie.
it's just so weird. Like I don't know. If we were, something crazy and then we finally reunited, like I would just want to like hug you and, maybe like a peck or like, like a little bit of like a kiss, but not like a full on like let's get hot and heavy and make out right now. Like that's just always so weird to me when movies do that. And even movies that I love have done it or shows, and I'm just like, it's just timing. And then this one was a whole nother level of that because she's infected and like, I don't know.
I
Like you
mean,
would think he would be questioning why she's strapped in.
mhm. I mean, it would have been interesting if that was if that was her intention to infect him. But
Yeah, I don't.
it didn't seem like that was the case. At least the movie
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
tell
know.
me gave me enough evidence for that.
I just like I don't know. You would think she would like not want to sit there and make out with him.
Mm-hmm.
He left her.
Yeah,
Like you would think she would be like, I don't want to see you. Where are my kids?
yeah. But what did she actually say? Do you remember?
No.
Because he says, "Sorry, I was scared, and do you forgive me or something?" And then I think she says like it's okay or something. Like she does
Hmm.
forgive him. But again, I don't know if that's because she intentionally wanted to infect him
Yeah.
or she genuinely just does forgive him. Like it's okay. I'm just glad you're alive. Yeah.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the deal with the different colored eye thing?
You mean like, do I know the genetics of it, or?
I mean, I guess is there a reasoning for it in the movie?
My understanding, it doesn't have to do anything with the with the colored eyes. It's more that these individuals are unique, or their genetics are unique, and then because their genetics are so unique, they do have these weird color eyes. So it's just for them to tell, for the medical people to tell, oh yeah, yeah. So this person is unique because I don't
Maybe
know.
there's something special about people with this condition that they're all going to be immune or
Yeah,
what? Like,
there's
and
something
then,
special about these people with this condition that happens to turn their eyes a different color. I
yeah,
don't think it's the actual eye thing. I think that's just more of a
yeah,
marker for us to know, oh, these
yeah.
people are special, or they have
I just,
special blood or something.
yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of
And
random.
then, and that's also, I mean, it could just be a kind of a plot device to let you know, hey, it did skip a generation, and the kid does have it.
Yeah. Um, okay, so in the last movie, they mentioned what, Paris and Egypt or something.
Mm-hmm.
So in this movie, is it showing that it didn't break out in those places, that it was just contained to this area, or it shows Paris at the end,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
In of this movie. But it seems like that's just what's happening now, right? It doesn't seem like it's like from.
Yeah, I think that the outbreak just broke out now after this movie S- somehow.
My question, okay. So the boy does get like bit by the dad or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't get infected because he's immune. Well, he doesn't get. I guess he gets infected, but it doesn't.
He's just a carrier.
Yes, he's a carrier. So now, because that pilot Flynn took these two kids, he's the reason now that it's spread, right? Do we think it's spread from the boy?
Yeah,
It had to have, right?
that's a plausible theory. Mm-hmm.
So, like, you think you're doing the right thing by saving this kid and you get him and his sister out, but little do you know this boy is a carrier, and then what, it spreads through like bodily fluids and blood and stuff, right? So,
And
like,
yeah, and the thing is, nobody knows about these kids, right?
yeah.
They don't know about they themselves do not know about.
And just think of how easy it is to, like, spread
Mm-hmm.
an illness when it's through fluids and stuff.
Yeah, so that's a plausible theory, and it's in line with the themes of these movies, right? Kind of that
Yeah.
opening scene where like you're trying to, or in the first movie where you're trying to do good by saving these monkeys, but
Yeah.
in
And
turn
that's
you
what I thought was interesting. Yeah, it's the good intentions, but so
everything's
it's just
so
interesting.
fucked.
Yeah. But also like imagine like that kid like he's infected, like he's gonna infect someone else whether he wants to or not. Like he would never be able to what like have a girlfriend. He's gonna kiss a girlfriend and infect her. He's gonna sneeze on someone and infect them. Like
Yeah, it's like Rogue from X-Men.
I just yeah, I found it interesting that the pilot by taking this kid, it shows them like going across the water and stuff. So I feel like that's them showing that this is him putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cool. Anything else we want to say, Mia?
I think I got all my little bullet points.
Any final thoughts?
I mean, again, I overall like it.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't have the same impact on me as the first one. I don't think it's as unique. I think it has some really unique ideas, and I like the ideas in it. I like the end, I
Mm-hmm.
like that it does spread because of that. And but yeah,
I'm,
there's just something. It's a lot more Americanized. It's a lot more like Hollywood feeling. It doesn't feel like just a cash grab.
mm-hmm.
I will say that. Um, but yeah, I missed the aesthetics of the first film, and I think this one's just a lot more actiony. They did want to like they've been talking about doing a third movie since I think this one came out even. But it sounds like they just couldn't agree on things, and it's just one of those things that just kept getting pushed aside.
Yeah.
So I mean I feel like I've looked like a couple times like because I've always heard that they were making a third one. And then if you'd ever like look into it, it was like, no, nothing's been said about it for like years though.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they announce that they were actually making a third one, and then all of a sudden they announce that it's 28 years later, and then all of a sudden there's like a trailer. Like it all happened very quick once it was like official.
Yeah. I mean, I like this movie a lot too. I'm not, as much as we said, bad things about it. I mean, we didn't say that
Yeah.
much, but I do remember liking this movie a lot when it came out. And I don't remember if I saw it when it came out. I don't think I had. I think I saw it later. What I will say is that, and I haven't told you this, but we did do an analysis of a scene in this from this film in Jay Varella's class.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, in my acting class back in community college.
Mm.
And it was the scene from where the dad is meets the wife in the medical room.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I'm surprised you didn't have more to say on it
yeah.
then.
I mean, you basically said everything there is to say. I think the only thing is that I do remember vividly when Jay Varela said at the end of when we were done analyzing it, he was like, "Yeah," and then it turns into the Hollywood trope where
I think,
once he kisses her, then it all just turns to
yeah,
shit.
I mean, yeah, it did. Yeah. I mean, I like Jeremy Renner.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was cool as Hawkeye. I think he's cool in other things I've seen him in. what was that one movie with was Elizabeth Olsen in that one too with him? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You should see it if you haven't. I want to look it up. Oh, and he was in Hurt Locker. I always forget that. Like he's actually been in Wind River. Have you never seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I like it. It's good. So yeah, he's played similar characters, and I always like him as this type of character. So like, you know, it is a type of movie I would watch.
Yeah. All right. To close things off, what do you? What theories do you have for the next movie?
Oh gosh.
Where do you think it's gonna go?
I mean, 28 years later.
Like, what do you think has happened? Like, is it just full
I
blown
want
apocalypse?
to, yeah, I want to say that there was like a widespread infection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe this is, you know, pockets of humanity still kind of around the globe.
So it is just about the survivors. Do you think there's gonna be? Because I mean, the virus dies so quickly, right? They contained it. All the last infected died in 6 months or whatever it was. So imagine
Yeah.
28 years. Like there'd be no zombies anymore. They just die of starvation.
Yeah, but also look like they weren't even able to stop it in this small contained spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if the infected don't have anything to eat and it says that they die after what was it, 5 weeks, like wouldn't they just
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this new movie, is just about normal life and how it's kind of everything's kind of getting back to some sense of what was before, and it's not.
I
It has.
mean, maybe it's, that there was mass scale infection and then they kind of got it under control in one way or another, or the infected just died out, and they were able to outlive it. And then maybe this is hints of it coming back,
Yeah, that seems
you
like the
know.
more
I don't know, I guess we'll see. We'll get to
plausible
talk
thing.
about whether we were right or wrong.
Right? It's like they've managed to rebuild. Everything's normal now, but then somehow it spreads again, or it comes up again, or it has mutated somehow. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna have mutated in some weird way.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh
Our other wrap up.
yeah, the other wrap up. Let's see. Okay, Mia, what have you been?
What am I looking forward
Yeah, what are you
to?
looking for?
Yes.
What are you looking
And this
forward
on a
to?
good note. I'm gonna say one that you're gonna be mad that I'm saying. I'm looking forward to seeing Ballerina. Are we gonna actually do that?
Oh yeah, ballerina. I
The
do
new
want to
John Wick
see it.
movie. Because we like John Wick in this household.
Yeah, I love John Wick.
Not
Um,
as much as our friend that saw it in theaters, like the third one. How many
yeah,
times?
the third one. Which I feel like they've. I still like the first one better.
Yeah. I think I like them in like order of what they've come
Yeah.
out. But they're all fun.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to? Oh my god. Ugh. Let's see. I'm looking forward to reading this Tombs manga by Junji Ito.
Yeah.
It's been sitting on the on the
Table.
cabinet, on the table, on the cabinet for a while now. And we you got it for our anniversary, and we said we were
Yeah.
gonna read it, and it's been almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah. I mean, that's not that long, but
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of our thing. We like those books and read them at night sometimes before bed.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a bedtime story together with all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of a nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Though I don't dream much. Or I never remember my dreams or my nightmares. Which that could be a problem.
And I dream too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Junji Ito. I've always liked Junji Ito ever since I worked at the bookstore.
Cool.
I just love the art. It's great. I don't know like how great his stories are,
Yeah.
especially since he does write. He seems to pump them out like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's more about his art, really.
Yeah. I mean, the art is definitely, and they're just kind of like crazy and wacky, and you never know where it's going, and
Yeah.
kind of like, what the heck? So they're fun. But yeah, the style is very cool. I like them. So cool.
Alrighty.
We'll do that tonight.
I guess that's it. Everybody have a wonderful day, night.
We'll be
Evening.
back shortly for 28 years later.
Cool.
See you then.
All right. See ya.